You may recognise this section of the M40 just north of High Wycombe, which was cut through at some point in the 1970s. At that point, there wouldn't have been any greenery on the cliff sides. It would have looked just white. It's chalk. There would have been no soil there. There are no nutrients or minerals on the cliffside. It's very steep. It doesn't provide a lot of shelter against any of the elements. Sooner or later, spores of pioneer species would have landed against these rocks. They don't need soil to anchor them into the ground. They don't need a lot of water, and they can just absorb what they need directly from the atmosphere. These pioneer species were able to colonize this inhospitable environment and were able to grow there. Very simple organisms like algae, lichens, and mosses. The fact that these species were here meant that over time, as they died and decomposed, a very thin layer of humus would have formed against that cliff face. And that is enough that when you have seeds from other, slightly more complex plant species being blown around, they now have something to anchor onto. And there is a very thin layer of soil now there which wasn't there before. These simple organisms have now outcompeted the pioneers which were there originally. Over time, each successive sera or stage of succession has been able to change the abiotic conditions in that environment, making it more hospitable and more suitable for the next stage of succession. So now when you drive through this area, you can see shrubs growing out of the cliff face. You can see the beginnings of some trees growing in certain parts of it as well. That is succession. Do you think that this canyon will ever be able to reach a climax community? Or would the fact that the sides are still quite steep prevent the most complex species, the largest species, from actually being able to grow here?